Hey, Ag Teacher Thoughts here, coming at you with another video. Well, it's that time of year that we have to do something very, very scary with one of our new plantings. So if you look back several videos ago, I planted a carnivorous plant bog kind of late in the fall this year. That was just simply when I had access to the plants, and now we've got to help them out. So unlike what most of us assume, carnivorous plants are not tropical plants. They're plants that belong to kind of temperate regions, so they do need to go dormant. Which means, for the health of my plants, I have to put them outside, unprotected, to go dormant. I don't know about you, but as a first-time carnivorous plant bog owner, this is making me very, very nervous. But after watching a lot of videos from California Carnivorous, which is, where is it? California Carnivorous Plants. I don't remember the YouTube video channel. I'll link it down in the description. But I've been doing a lot of watching of their videos since I purchased my carnivorous plants. Doing a lot of learning. Because as a plant guy, you know, I know hanging baskets, I know flowers, I know bedding plants. I know some perennials, but I don't know carnivorous plants as much. So you're learning at the same time I'm learning. But according to them and several other websites that I've been on, Venus flytraps and pitcher plants, specifically the kinds that I own, need to go dormant in the winter. So I looked up the hardiness zones, and both of my plants are hardy to zone 6, which is actually the zone that we're in here. So they've been in the greenhouse where it's been getting down to the 50s, so they're kind of acclimating that way. I have kept it a little bit warmer because I have petunias that I don't want to go dormant, but now I need to make my pitcher plant and Venus flytraps go dormant. So let's take a look at the bog, and we'll do kind of an update so you can see where that is, and then we're going to move it outside and expose it to the elements, and we'll see what happens. If I'm unsuccessful with overwintering them that way, I will definitely purchase more from California Carnivores, and yeah, we'll bring the bog back to life next year if we have to. But let's take a closer look and see where we're at. So here's the progress on the bog so far. You can see there are some remnants of some insects that got in here, and I'll give you kind of some identity of some of these so you know kind of where they came from. This is our original that we got last year. This is the one that I did overwinter indoors. You can see that the traps, look at the leaves by the traps. They're very, very large. They're doing quite well. This one came from Home Depot. I do believe this is one that was given to me as a gift. This is one that I purchased from Home Depot as I was starting to prepare for the bog. These came from an outlet store called Grocery Outlet, and there's several of those. Kind of get that sphagnum out of there. I don't need it in there. And there were 2 pots of these, so all of these little traps in here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All 10 of those traps were in just 2 pots. So for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, still 10. They were all in the same pot, and I was able to divide those out. So now we've got a dozen traps in here and 2 pitcher plants. Now these pitcher plants, they are, I can't pronounce their name. I'd have to have it written down to see it again. But I talk about them in my initial planting video. Maroon, they're a hybrid something maroon. I'm sorry, I cannot remember that. But these also came from our outlet store. So these little traps and these came from the same store. They were clearanced out, so they were extras, or they were something that a store just couldn't sell. So they sold them to a surplus outlet store. So I have looked up the common Venus flytraps and these particular hybrids, and their hardiness is down to zone 6. So here we are zone 6B. So theoretically, they should be able to survive our winter. So I'm going to take these out here. I am going to let them get down to colder temperatures. But I'm going to do one other thing, which is I'm going to cover the top. So I'm not going to expose them directly to it. And I'm going to let the water act as kind of an insulator on the colder nights. I want them to get down into the 40s and maybe upper 30s, but I just can't bring myself to let them freeze. They're in a container, they're not in the ground, so they may be a little more susceptible that way. The greenhouse does get down to about 51 to 56 at night, so that's why they're kind of actively growing, and it's warmer in the daytime. It can get up to 80 or so. So it's going to be a little of a shock or an adjustment to them, so I want to make sure that they have the best opportunity to grow, and I'm not going to kind of harm them that way. We don't get a lot of rain here, so I'm going to have to supplement the water. Catching rainwater is kind of a hard thing because, it doesn't rain that often. So we're going to work on that. Ooh, do I see an aphid? Do see an aphid. An aphid on our carnivorous plant. That is ironic. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and move these outside. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're going to watch and monitor them. And if it's going to get like bitterly cold, like below freezing for a period of time, I'm definitely going to go ahead and bring them into a more sheltered location, like not necessarily the greenhouse because I'm going to keep this warm, but I'm going to take them into a sheltered location like my garage, where it stays cooler but it doesn't freeze, and that should help. Okay, so we have our carnivorous plant bog outside. So it's outside of the greenhouse. It is making me nervous, but we're going to go for it. So one of the things I'm going to do before I cover this up is I'm going to go get some clippers and I'm going to remove any of the dead traps and foliage in here, because the humidity in here is going to be quite significant, and we don't want mold to really set in and start destroying our lovely bog planting. Now, I'm going to monitor it from time to time. I'll take out any dead traps as they turn black and any of the dead pitchers. So we're going to make a covering out of corrugated plastic, the same stuff that we use for the greenhouse itself, and we're going to make a cover that we can leave on there so that with this plant being outside of the greenhouse, we can give it a little bit of protection. So the water that's going to eventually be filled up a little bit more as I collect some rainwater from our downspouts. We are forecast to have rain today, so yay, bonus. I'm going to collect some of that water, add it in here, and that's going to give a water jacket. And the pot itself will not get any colder than 32 degrees until the ice in here, or the water in here, completely changes to ice. So that's going to help protect it, but allow it to get down to those dormancy temperatures quickly. So let's go ahead and make that cover. It's going to be really basic. I've got my little handy blade. That's about where I want to go. And I'm just going to slice right down through those corrugations. And this is large enough that it is going to cover our container. So during the day we can have it like this, and it can be open to the weather. We can allow it to slowly start to acclimate. At night we can cover it up, and I'm going to put a stone on top of here. We do get some fairly strong winds, so I might have to actually tie or secure it down other than just a stone. But I think this is the way that we're going to let this be out here. We're definitely going to let it get some rain. And then as time goes on, we're hoping this bog gets better and better. But I'm still rather nervous. It took me so long to find these plants in the quantity to produce my own bog, and then to be brave enough to actually spend a bit of money to do a bog after I had this experimental fly trap and realized it could survive in North Idaho as long as I gave it constant water. In other words, just setting it in a container of water. That let me know it was possible. Now, North Idaho, we do have some other challenges. The air gets really dry here, so containers like this, they do like to evaporate, which is going to increase your concentrations of your minerals and things like that. I know everybody says use rainwater. It's not much of an option here, unless I go down to the river and grab a bucket. But if I grab a bucket of river water, I'm grabbing the same water that comes out of my spigot. So we'll do the best we can. anyway, that's what we're gonna do. So I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty nervous, but I think we're gonna take this plunge. And again, this spring when they start coming back up and the weather warms up, we'll do more videos. This is gonna be an ongoing thing. And now that I've found a group that has a lot of plants, another nursery that's got a great YouTube channel, I'm gonna start purchasing from them, and we'll grow our weird plants and see how much of a bog we can get here. Because for pitcher plants, these are pretty small. They get bigger. And there's some pretty cool ones. I'll see what I can get. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and like me, I hope you are learning. Even with apprehension of putting plants out into the weather, we gotta sometimes take some risks to have some success. As always, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you subscribe. And you know what? There's no problem with going back and watching the older videos. So help us out. Our next goal is to reach that 4,000 watch hours, which means you got to put your time in just like I do. There's over 600 and I think 40 videos for you to watch. So there's a lot to go back to. Feel free to binge, grab your favorite plant, snuggle up with a good glass of coffee or soda for you and a glass of water for the plant, and let's just have fun learning about plants. Ag Teacher Thoughts, out.